Well, there's one big word for the day, and that is silver. If you guys own silver, please let me know in the comments below. As of recording the video, just about 15 minutes before the metals markets are closing, silver is up almost 6%, flirting with $2 an ounce gain. Gold is up over $90 an ounce. So what is going on? Love to get your thoughts and comments. I have my own opinion, and my opinion is that metals are going up for two reasons. One, because we are literally on the precipice. I hate to sound, fear-mongerish, but World War III. I just saw a picture posted of Lindsey Graham with Zelensky on Zero Hedge, who was behind a paywall, but the title of the article is Trump, please do not cave, or something to that effect. So where are we at? Well, we had a huge attack, Ukraine inside Russian territory yesterday with drones that destroyed a whole bunch of very important Russian aircraft. And as of right now, Putin has not responded. So what's going to happen? Well, that's one reason why metals are going up today. Another reason why probably is because the tariff talks are back in the forefront. Trump has increased the tariffs on steel, as you probably know, I believe, to 50%. So some of the steel stocks were up big time, U.S. steel stocks. So let's see how that plays out. But we have more confluence of events. I think the tariffs are probably, on balance, a good thing. Love to get your comments, whether you agree with me, disagree with me. The issue with Ukraine and Russia is not good. And the powers that be that are evidently now controlling the situation. Trump came out, I think, in his social media and said he was not aware of the attacks that Ukraine carried out on Sunday. Some are saying they find it hard to believe, or they're saying maybe he didn't know, and some other factions of the U.S. government are behind the scenes assisting with this, or knew about it, or whatever. I don't know. Leave your thoughts. But there's a reason why silver's up almost $2 an ounce today. Yes, it's the most undervalued asset in history of the world, I believe. If you don't hold it, consider buying some. My personal perspective is in the physical form and not the ETF or paper silver form. Not trading advice, not financial advice. But that's what I've been doing since about 2012. So let's see. The gold to silver ratio is still massive, like 100 to 1, something like that. It probably closed a bit today. So let's see what happens. But the stock market somehow, in the face of all this uncertainty, more bad economic news came out today, I believe, with manufacturing. Somehow the stock market, all three indexes, the three major ones, the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P, all managed to somehow claw their way back from being in the red earlier on today, and all posted relatively small gains. I think NASDAQ posted a 100 and something point gain. So somehow the markets are shrugging off once again, whistling past the graveyard, so to speak, shrugging off the risks of massive events that ultimately, from my perspective, will contribute to big market declines. Cryptocurrencies have been about flat since the Bitcoin convention. Although I see this afternoon Bitcoin picking up about $1,000 or $2,000 per Bitcoin. For the most part, the story is gold and silver, and they are telling us something. They always tell us a tale, and what is it? So again, love to get your input. That is my 2 cents. I want to, and by the way, the 10-year I saw was up just about 4 basis points. Nothing massive, but we still have a continuing selling off of U.S. Treasuries. The dollar index fell. Dollar is back down in an 89 handle, and that's something that all of us should be paying attention to as our dollars and our purchasing power continue to be eroded, as is this little sand cliff behind me, which I see I'm about to fall over into the ocean. But hopefully I can sit here for a few more minutes before this tide comes in. Enjoying a beautiful coastal day down at La Jolla again, down here for a few weeks with the family. I wanted to address, I don't want to go too long today, but I want to address a couple of comments I received on my video from, I believe it was Saturday, relative to the mortgage fraud I'm seeing. Well, mortgage is meaning seller carryback fraud. And I got some comments saying, can you elaborate more? In the situations I'm seeing, guys, just to give you, I'm not trying to play, hide the ball with you. It's somewhat complex how these guys are doing this, but for the most part, the fraud that I'm seeing is arising in the context of seller carryback, where the seller is taking a junior position, not a senior carryback position. So, for example, if I sell my house and I agree to carry paper, and there's no lender in front of me or bank in front of me, meaning I'm the only creditor of the transaction, I would be in a senior position on title, being owed the money by the buyer. The fraud I'm seeing is when sellers agree to go in a junior position, so they are junior to an existing lender on the property. Why would anybody do that? I get it. I ask myself the same question every day, but a lot of these files running up on my desk, and there's a lot of bad stuff happening around the country right now when sellers are getting themselves in that situation. Maybe they believe it's the best case scenario for them. Maybe they, there we go. Maybe they, we're getting close here. Tide's coming in. Maybe they believe that there's some overwhelming reason why they need to sell their property and take that risk on. So what's the risk? There is risk, by the way, not legal advice, not financial advice. There is risk even when, as a seller, you take a senior position in a carryback. And I will tell you those risks that I have seen. Number one, the value of the property drops. If you don't get enough cash out at the close, you take a large levered up position as a seller on a carryback, and the value of the property drops, you can be compromised. Because what happens with buyers, they walk away from properties, and you're stuck having an undervalued asset, not enough to cover the debt you're owed, number one. Number two, I see oftentimes, buyers will get into trouble, right? And then they stop making the payments, and even if the value is there, you end up as a seller having to foreclose that property. You have to take subject to whatever condition the buyer leaves that property in. You have to take subject to a whole host of other things, not to mention you have the risk. A lot of times buyers that get in distress, even if the property has value, they will run to the bankruptcy court. Okay, again, not legal advice. Talk to your own advisors in your jurisdiction. But if they throw it into bankruptcy, then your whole foreclosure comes to a stop, and you have to go and get relief from the automatic stay in bankruptcy to continue foreclosing what was your own property. Okay, so you do have impingements. I know people said, look at seller carryback, seller financing's been in place since the beginning of time. That's true, but it doesn't mean it's a good alternative. Okay, as opposed to simply insisting that the buyer pays you in full at close of escrow, whether they get a mortgage and that mortgage cashes you out, or whether they pay cash for the sale. I'm telling you, going into the times we're going into now, you might want to consider insisting that that is the only method by which you will conduct the transaction. What if you're in a junior position? Junior position then is subject to a senior lien holder, okay? And if you have to foreclose as a junior that is defaulted on, meaning the buyer doesn't pay your note, you have to foreclose. When you foreclose, at least in California, you take subject to the existing first encumbrance against the title. Okay, so you don't get anything. You're still then behind whoever financed the existing first trust deed. So what do you have? You have a big nothing burger, okay? Not to mention you're still grappling with issues of valuation, issues of debtors in distress, and buyers in distress. So I don't want to go too much in the weeds, but there are seller financing, guys, is fraught with massive issues, even if there's no fraud in the transaction, okay? So I wasn't trying to suggest that it's something new. I wasn't trying to suggest that there's fraud in every transaction, but I'm seeing a bunch of this now hit my desk in cases I'm working on now, interfacing with FBI and law enforcement, not just in my state, but other states that are calling me saying, look, we see this case you have. We have other instances in our jurisdiction where these fraud rings are scamming people for, most of the equity in their houses. So I will leave it there today. Again, if you're a silver bug like I am, you guys should be rejoicing today. Let's see if the momentum can continue. Hate to be a Debbie Downer, but always seems like as soon as we see a nice rise in silver, then it stops, hits the wall, and in the ensuing days or weeks, it gives back everything it gets. There has to be a moment, though, kind of like the cork in the champagne bottle, right, where this thing lights off and there is no return. We're going back to all-time highs. But again, not financial advice. Certainly, I would like to see that happen to vindicate all of these silver folks out there. Appreciate you guys leaving your thoughts, your comments. Please like the video for me and spread the video with family, friends, and loved ones. If you haven't subscribed, it's a free and easy way to support the channel. I'd really appreciate you guys hitting that subscribe button for me. All right. With that being said, I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.